Hey guys, Eric here. Today is November 4th, 2013, and instead of doing an ordinary episode of Techly News, which covers all the tech stories that happened last week, we're just going to cover one tech story, which is what Google announced last week, the Nexus 5, and a new version of Android, 4.4 KitKat. So Google announced the Nexus 5, a much anticipated phone with a 5-inch display which is going to replace the Nexus 4, which had a 4-inch display. The 5-inch display has a resolution of 1920 by 1080, which makes it full 1080p, which is a very high resolution for a phone, and it also has Gorilla Glass, so it should be pretty durable. Taking a look at the design, it is pretty simple and pretty thin, just slightly thicker than the iPhone 5S, and if you want to get this phone, it comes in white or black. The phone has a nice back and front camera. The front camera has 1.3 megapixels and the back camera has 8 megapixels. Now going internally, it's going to have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 chip with like 2.26 gigahertz or something like that. It's going to be a decently fast phone. It's also going to have 2 gigabytes of memory, which is pretty nice. And when it comes to wireless connections, it's going to have Bluetooth 4.0, LTE 4G, dual band Wi-Fi, and all that stuff. When it comes to sensors, it's going to have a GPS, an accelerometer, a compass, light sensors, and all the usual stuff. Now I might be wrong with this, but I don't see NFC on the specs list, so maybe there's not NFC, which is actually kind of interesting. I would think that an Android Nexus phone would have NFC, but oh well. So that's the basic gist when it comes to the actual phone. Now it comes in 2 configurations, a 16GB model and a 32GB model. Now the 16GB model will start you off at $350, and the 32GB model will start you off at $399. Moving on to the operating system built into the phone, a new version of Android is on this phone, Android 4.4 KitKat. Now before I say anything, I am not an Android user. I do not have Android 4.4. In fact, I don't actually have any Android devices in this house. Well, I actually do have an Android smartphone that's running Android 2.2 or something, but it's a piece of crap. But anyway, some new features in Android 4.4 KitKat. Well, it's supposed to be better with multitasking, just supposed to be faster, and also it's supposed to be better with the touchscreen to be more accurate. Next, you're one of the people that still requires to print out papers. Now, built into Android 4.4, you can print out stuff if your printer is supported. If you put your smartphone to sleep and you turn it on, now the lock screen is going to have an album cover or a movie cover or something of what you're listening to. If someone calls you and you don't have that number in your contacts, then Android's going to look up that number to try to see who it is to tell you. And speaking about contacts, if you have tons and tons of people and you only really need to talk to a few people most often, you can set priorities on your contacts so you can see the people that you need to talk to at the top of the list. If you're a big fan of Google Now, which is a voice assistant, if you set it up, now you can say, "Okay Google," and it'll open up Google Now so you can talk to it, instead of clicking a button or something like that. And the final feature I'm going to mention about Android 4.4 KitKat is that it has a screen recorder built in, which is actually kind of cool. So guys, that's Android 4.4 KitKat, at least some features about it that sort of interested me. Now please tell me in the comments section below, what do you think about Android 4.4 KitKat? What do you think about the Nexus 5? Are you going to be getting the Nexus 5? Do you really want to get Android 4.4 KitKat? Are you going to root your device so you can get it? Just anything like that. Personally, I don't think we'll be getting the Nexus 5 just because I have a phone and my phone dilemma is a different story. But I am kind of getting interested in Android as a whole, and I do want to get some sort of Android device in my ecosystem. Maybe like the Nexus 7, maybe. We'll have to see. Anyway though guys, please tell me in the comment section below. Like I said, all that stuff. Anyway though guys, my name is Eric, and I'm signing out.